Welcome back, everyone, to the Pitre podcast. I know I've been away. Your boy's been away from work. We in the dark right now. Yo, if something pops up in back of me, please let me know in the comments. I'm the only one here. My fucking arm is cramping up because I did freaking arm day earlier today. But yeah, if something pops up in back of me, let your boy know, because ain't nothing supposed to be popping up in back of me. But anyway, man, I was away for work in Pittsburgh. And, man, it was a trip. Man. Shout out to the Berg, man. The Berg is such a cool place. Pittsburgh is a really dope city. It's so different from Philadelphia. It's vastly different from Philadelphia. Philly has more of, of course, East Coast feel. Pittsburgh is more Midwest because it's closer to the Midwest, of course. But it was a cool city. Fucking snowed the whole time I was there. Dude, they put me on the smallest plane imaginable flying out of there. This plane had 20 people on board. It was literally 20 seats. I'm not joking, 20, 30 seats max. Small ass plane, which are cool to fly in. I actually enjoy flying on those more in the big commercial airplanes. But only in good weather. I wasn't flying in good weather. The weather I was flying in was horrendous. It was snowing. It was a snowstorm. So, the runway was frozen. We were taking off. Freaking, I was hearing bumps and everything. This fucking runway have potholes or something? What's going on? The whole plane was shaking as it was ascending. It was wild. That was definitely, the most sus takeoff I've ever experienced in my entire life, right? Other than that, the flight was cool. And those small airplanes are a trip to flying, man. I definitely prefer them over the big ones. But not only that, I know we talked about paranormal stuff in my last episode, and something kind of paranormal happened to me while I was in the hotel room in Pittsburgh, right? And I'm not quite sure if it actually happened or not. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm going to explain as to why. Before I get into the actual topic that we're going to be discussing on this podcast, I just wanted to backtrack because I know we talked about it beforehand. This is very interesting, so I just want to get it out there. But basically, your boy, I'm sleeping on the right side of the left side of the bed, right? And I'm turned this way. I got my left arm hanging off of the bed, right? Left arm is hanging off of the bed up to right before my elbow, right? So it's hanging off of the bed, and room is dark, obviously just me, and I feel something grab my wrist, or slightly above or below my wrist, excuse me, on this arm, my left arm, right? So right here, basically, and my arm is up to here off the bed, right? So I feel something grab my wrist. And it pulls me. Doesn't yank the shit out of me, but it pulls me to the point where my whole left shoulder is off the bed. And it got to the point where, there was a nightstand by the bed that's attached to the wall. And I stopped myself from falling using my right hand to stop myself from fucking falling off of the bed. And I woke up yo, what the fuck? What was that? Because I felt it happening, but I was still, I was kind of everyone experiences that time where you're sleeping but not sleeping. You're literally in the middle of sleeping and not sleeping. So you're awake but not really awake. So that's when it happened. And I'm yo, what the fuck just happened? I got up, I looked around, put the light on, which the lamp was attached to the nightstand, excuse me. Looked around, yo, what the fuck was that? So I just turned the lights off and then faced the other way, essentially. So that's what happened. I'm not entirely sure if it truly happened or not. If that was a dream, that was the most realistic dream I've ever experienced in my entire life. But that was really fucking weird, man. Really, really weird. So that happened. Then the next night, I just slept with the lights on, man. I was a bitch. I slept with the lights on. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want that happening again. So yeah. Super weird, super odd. It is what it is. But anyway, man, we're not here to talk about spooky stories as we did in the last episode. We're here to talk about dreams, goals, what you should be doing going into 2026, right? I'm someone that's very big on having a game plan for the following year, writing down what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, things you want to do, places you want to travel to, all that good stuff, right? I feel like if you don't do that, especially as an adult, you just find yourself winging through life. You just find yourself going through the motions and not really shooting for something. I think happiness is a pursuit of a worthwhile goal. You've probably heard that before from fucking somewhere, one of those fucking, mental health influencers or, like Tony Robbins or some shit. But I do believe in that. I think happiness is in pursuit of a worthwhile goal. All the times where I looked at in my life where I was like truly unhappy is when I was going through the motions, right? It's when I didn't have anything to shoot for, anything to strive for. And listen, your goal can be anything, right? What you could be shooting for, pursuing could be anything. It could be promotion at work. It can be a milestone at work. It can be, gym stuff or working out or fitness or like body goals. It could be, traveling to a different destination every single year, going to this place or like achieving something, right? But you should be shooting for something, I feel like, every single year. I feel like if you're not doing that, again, you're going through the motions as an adult, and that's going to lead you to become depressed because you're not striving for anything, You're not striving to hit or accomplish or achieve anything. And when we look at, throughout history, like our ancestors and that kind of stuff, we're always kind of doing it, right? Whether it be, for instance, like hunter or gatherer, right? The goal was fucking getting that big catch, that big hunt, or the goal was like setting up shelter. The goal was, I don't know, like something they can fucking think of at that time. Then when we transition into farmers, the goal was to have a good harvest, right? So if you have a good harvest, you have, more food, and you have, of course, more money because you have more harvest or more grains or whatever the case may be to sell. So we always had those kind of goals, right? And I feel like in this day and age, in this society, it's very easy to lose track of what your goals are, what you're trying to pursue. So that's number one, right? So try to find something to pursue or something that you would label as a goal going into 2026. And listen, it could be anything. There's no such thing as a stupid goal. No such thing as a stupid pursuit, right? If you're just like, yo, I want to freaking lose 10 pounds. That's all I want to do for all of 2026. That's cool. That's good. I hope you achieve that goal. I hope you're trying to obtain that goal. Like, there's no such thing as a stupid goal or stupid pursuit. You just have to have one, I feel, right? So usually I always make a list of stuff that I kind of want to achieve in the year. And I have it for 2025. And a lot of it's like work stuff, life stuff, could be relationship stuff, could be, working out stuff. It's just a mixture, traveling. It's just a mixture of everything, right? So I just make a whole list of shit that I want to achieve. And by the end of the year, I kind of like look over, okay, this is what I achieved. This is not what I achieved. Then I'm realistic about it. For the stuff that I didn't achieve, like, did I actually try to strive and achieve that? Did I actually put my best foot forward to achieve it, or did I just forget about it, or did I just didn't even try, right? And if it's something that I want to maybe achieve the following year, I'll put it back on a list. If it's something that I'm just like, yo, like, this is not really important to me anymore at this stage of my life, then I'll put it in the back burner, which is fine too. What was important to you last year may not be important, or what was important to you this year may not be important to you next year. And that's fine. So if you find something that's important to you, from year after year after year, you can keep that on the list. So if it changes, then it changes. Like, there's no problem with that, right? There's times where, you might have a particular goal in place and you realize, listen, man, maybe this goal is just not obtainable. It'd be like that sometimes. That's life, as much as you can be as optimistic as possible and, young at heart and say, every goal is obtainable. It's all in your mind and all this stuff. Like, listen, man, the fact of the matter is some things are not obtainable. Some things will never be obtainable. And that's just what it is. Now, I do think if you have that as a goal and you're striving to attain that goal, even if you might not obtain that goal, you definitely be closer to obtaining the goal than not having the goal whatsoever. So that's a good way to challenge yourself too. So maybe you won't hit that particular goal, but if you come close, hey, that's good enough. Like if I have a goal to hit, or for instance, like for work to sell like $1 million worth of whatever fucking product I'm selling, if that's the goal and that's a high goal, borderline unobtainable goal, but if I strive for that goal and I hit 600K, I got 60% to the goal. If I didn't have that goal to begin with, I probably wouldn't even got to 600K. So even though 1 million was unattainable, I got closer to the goal because I set the goal, right? So when it comes to goal setting, I would say definitely be realistic with your capabilities and just like what can be achievable in a year time. But also, dude, just set the goal, man. Even if it seems a little outlandish, set it anyway, and you're gonna end up getting closer to that goal than you think you would. So as first and foremost, I definitely suggest like making a list of shit that you want to achieve in 2026. Could be random, dude. Just put it down and just like you would see at the end of the year, you're gonna cross off a bunch of shit on that list that you thought, oh shit, I didn't even think I was gonna be able to do this year. Don't even think I was gonna be able to attain this year, right? Some people do the vision board. Sorry, my right arm is cramping up right now, so I'm like switching between right and left. My right arm, I know I got a good workout in, and I don't know if this is healthy or not. If like that area, not the middle of your arm, but like the tendon that goes from the side of your arm closest to the elbow that connects like your freaking, I don't know, fucking the human body and all the ligaments and all the parts or whatever, but the freaking the first half of your arm to the second half of your arm, that ligament that attaches both, if that ligament is kind of cramping up a little bit, that's how you know I got a good workout, and that's currently happening right now. I don't know if that's healthy or not. If it's not, please let me know. So vision boards, right? Vision boards, I would say, are hit or miss. So I personally don't do them because that's just so much fucking work. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just a lazy piece of shit, and I don't feel like putting all that shit together. But I would say this. The times where I have done a vision board, a lot of it actually came true, right? Like a good example was when I was initially moving to Philly from New York, I put a vision board together of the apartment that I want, right? Like, what am I looking for in an apartment? And I'm not kidding you. Everything that I put on that board, I found in that apartment. I wanted 2 bedrooms. I found 2 bedrooms. I wanted, within the first 5 floors, found it on the second floor. I wanted to be within a certain price range. I got it in that price range. Like, I wanted to be, newer finishes. The whole thing was like completely refurnished right before I got there. Like everything that I wanted in that apartment, I literally got it, and it was all in the vision board, right? So I suggest if you want to do it, man, do it. If you're someone that's more visual than anything, if you have to look at these goals or look at the things that you want to achieve, go ahead and put it on the board, man. Get crazy with it. Go crazy. Fucking put 1 million shit up there. Look at it every single day, so you're focused on what you're trying to achieve for the year, and definitely you will see that you're gonna obtain a lot of stuff that's on that board, man. A lot of stuff that's on that board. Again, I'm just a little too lazy to do it. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't feel like hanging this shit up because it's a little gay if a 30-year-old man does it, but I do recommend that you do it. God, what's next on the list? We had goals, pursuit of goals for 2026. We have making a list of goals for 2026. We have vision boards. And I would say, dude, just taking care of your mental health and trying to be as positive as possible, right? I think that is huge. I think your frame of mind and your thinking can definitely go a long way. So, for instance, you can have a bunch of goals for 2026. You can have a vision board, but if you have a negative mind that entire time, you're probably not going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve that year. I do think that if you're just more positive focused and you're looking at the good things in life, you're trying to focus on just, embracing every single day and being thankful for every single day, just having an overall positive mindset and positive attitude, I feel like that's going to take you long term where you want to go than just being negative. I feel like if you're just walking around negative, which is so easy to do, right? Like me personally, some people are just naturally positive, right? Some people they're just positive, like they don't have to try that hard just to be jolly. I'm not one of those people. I have a naturally very negative mind, right? I have a melancholy personality. So my mind is just naturally negative all the time. I look at the issue and or flaws of things all the time. I never view on the positives ever. And that's something that I'm trying to reframe my mind to do. So I feel like if you're constantly dwelling on a negative, you're just going to attract more negativity into your life. And again, like a lot of that's fucking hypothetical. A lot of that's, mumbo jumbo. You may not believe in it or not. For me personally, from what I saw, and I can only speak on, on my experiences, every time that I'm just like having a negative spell and I'm just thinking negatively, more negative shit just seems to happen to me. Maybe because I have a negative mindset to begin with, I'm seeing more of the negative. Rather, if I had a positive mindset and like my mind will kind of go past the negatives and only see the positives, that could be that being played into an effect too. Like for instance, when someone says, "Oh, you're trying to buy a certain car," and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. It's not because that car is necessarily everywhere. It's just because you're now noticing that car when before you never bothered noticing that car. So that could be what's going on. But dude, like your mindset is so important. My fucking arm's cramping up and it's hurting. So look, your mindset is so important, man. At the end of the day, no matter what you're going through in life, it's your mindset that's going to make or break you. And listen, dude, some people go through some shit, man. Some people really go through some shit to the point where it's like, how can anyone be positive? How can anyone persevere and fucking come out on top and not let that get to them? People have different experiences. People go through different stuff. My struggle could be fucking a walk in the park compared to someone else, right? And everyone has those years where fucking a year sucks, Like maybe 2025 sucked cock for you. Maybe 2025 for you blowed beef, right? There's times where there's some years that are garbage. For me, it was 2019. 2019 was probably like the worst fucking year of my life. Like that year was trash. That year was beyond trash. I just kept getting hit with negative bullshit nonstop. Just life stuff, finances, relationships. Like 2019 was just a bad year for your boy, man. But just because 2025 was bad for you doesn't mean that 2026 will be bad for you, right? Just because one year was trash does not mean that the next year can be totally different. Complete 360, 180, whatever kind of fucking spin you want to do is just completely different, right? So that can be the case. So even if 2025 was bad, don't carry that mindset, don't carry that energy into 2026, and try to be in the most positive frame of mind as possible, right? And leading into a positive frame of mind, I'm going to end it here. Listen, man, I'm a big believer in The Secret. Sounds mad gay. I get it. Like, people have a lot of stigma towards it. A lot of people shit on it. I get it. Like, I totally get it. For my personal experiences, man, I believe in it. Not gonna lie. I wholeheartedly believe in that nonsense. It sounds like nonsense. It does. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit here and say it doesn't. It really does. But I believe in it still, man. Because I've put it to the test in multiple areas of my life, right? Just little small tests, right? Just to see if this shit really fucking works. And I can only speak for me. I can't speak for anyone else. Maybe you've tried it before and you're like, this shit does not work for me. Shit is bullshit. Okay, fair enough. Try something else. But me personally, I've tried it and I can say, it kind of checks out. Not 100% of the time, of course. No one has that fucking power to just start spawning shit up that they could think of in their brain. Wish I had that power. But there's been multiple times where I'm just like, especially in case of work, where I'm like, I'm going to get a demo today. I'm going to get a hold of this client today. I'm going to do this today. I just feel it. I know it. It's going to fucking happen. Like, it's going to happen. And it ends up happening, right? Maybe it happens because I put a little more effort than I probably wouldn't have if I didn't feel like it was going to happen. That's, that can definitely be playing a factor. But at the end of the day, I said it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen, and it fucking happened, right? There's a lot of areas I'm like, listen, health stuff wise, this shit is going to get better. This shit's going to improve. And lo and behold, it just gets better and it improves overnight. And I don't know how. I've put it into so many different, or tested it so many different ways in different areas that it just kind of checks out. Again, not all the time, but more often or not, man, when I'm just like, yeah, I feel like this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. It ends up happening. I don't know how. Maybe I'm a fucking clairvoyant. Maybe I should play the lotto more. But that's just my experience, man. And if you haven't read the book, or you haven't watched the documentary, definitely do so. But listen, try it out. It sounds like garbage. Maybe it is. But I can say from my personal experience, it's worked. And listen, man, just try it out, see how it goes. Because again, it can fucking completely revolutionize your world, and you can just be viewing it as far as like this shit doesn't work kind of view. But I definitely suggest like trying it out on little things, and you're gonna see like, oh shit, like it's kind of weird that's doing that. It's kind of weird that I'm attracting that shit. But again, that's what it comes down to, having a positive frame of mind. If you're just dwelling on a negative all the time, you're gonna get the negative. You can't manifest good shit when you're thinking negative. And when you're thinking positive, it's harder to manifest bad shit. So I would definitely challenge all of us, and even myself, to be more positive in 2026 rather than in 2025. And again, that's something that I have to personally work on, because naturally I'm not like that either, right? And I feel like most people are not like that. The people who are just naturally positive are definitely blessed, but they can be going through their own kind of issues there that we're just not aware of. So yeah, this is a short episode, but just wanted to give some tips, some tricks, things we can do for all of us to have a better 2026 than we had a better 2025. Because look, man, country's ass. Country's garbage, right? We're about to go to war in Venezuela over oil. None of us want that. Epstein files are a fucking joke. The economy is horrendous. Unemployment is fucking skyrocketing. They're hiding fucking unemployment numbers and just like, numbers on the economy because they know how fucking terrible it is and they don't want it to be shown. Like, the administration's actually doing that. Like, yo, this country's garbage right now, bro. Fucking healthcare is ridiculous. Insurance companies are ridiculous. Infrastructure is horrendous. We're having constant issues with immigration. Like, yo, this country right now is trash, right? It's just what it is. So let's not try to drag the bullshit of society down with us, and reframe our own minds so that we, at least on a personal level, can have a good year when the rest of the country is fucking falling apart around us. I always got to stem back to just shit being garbage right now. I'm so sorry. I know you guys are tired of me saying how bad the current state of this country is, but it's hard to not bring it up, man. But yeah, that was this episode. I wanted to end 2025 off, on a good note. This is the first year of the Pitre podcast. It's been a solid 2025. I've enjoyed doing the podcast so far. Definitely continue into next year. You guys are definitely not going to hear from me until next year, but I hope you guys have a good New Year's. Hope you guys end 2025 in a bang, in a bust. And I hope you guys have a good one. Catch you guys next week. Bye.